What's up, guys? So today is going to be the first installment of what I'm going to call skateboarding made simpler. The whole point of this video is to go from the very beginner, if you just stepped on a skateboard, to learning some tricks that'll keep you motivated and not skipping on some of the things that matter. So I got this idea because, you know, Braille makes the skateboarding made simple, and there's such a huge jump. A lot of it can seem pretty intimidating. I mean, even in the first list, they want you to learn kick flips and heel flips, and there's a lot in between I feel like you can learn. In this video here, we're just gonna have like a series of tricks. Some of these tricks will be similar as Braille's. We're gonna learn ollies, front side 180s, back side 180s, a half cab, a front side half cab, or a fakie front side 180, whatever you want to call it, and fakie ollie. These are all tricks where the board doesn't leave your feet. You might feel more confident. I would recommend, before trying to do any tricks on your skateboard, get comfortable riding. Get comfortable riding around, you know, kind of going up and down curb cuts, or just riding around your parking lot, or just get comfortable on your board. One thing that can help at first is if you tighten up your trucks just a little bit, because you're gonna feel more stable. And a lot of these tricks will come easier. The more you get comfortable on your board, the more you can loosen your trucks. Different trucks turn different ways. It's a whole nother video. But yeah, you definitely wanna get comfortable riding your skateboard around and feel like you can push. You can just skate down to the store and you're not, yeah. That being said, everybody progresses at a different rate. And if you wanna go for any of these tricks before you feel super comfortable just riding it, there's no rules. There's no rules. I can do tricks that I can't do other tricks of and things like that. But yeah, the whole point of this video is it's gonna help me learn some of the basics that I kind of skipped over and I'm not comfortable doing, and to form a kind of a community of people who help each other. It's skate support. These videos aren't just, I don't want them to be just about me. I want them to be about the viewer, you guys. And if you're struggling with a trick, hopefully by the time this video goes up, I'll have a Discord up and ready to go. So it can be much more personal. You can post your clips on there and then everybody can help. Obviously at first they're still gonna be like, it's probably just gonna be me. That's kind of the whole point. I want people, especially people my age, pick up a board again or pick up a board for the first time and just get into this. So yeah, let's get to the ollie first. These are gonna be, you know, quicker trick tips because they're simpler tricks. They don't require a lot of tips. So let's get to the ollie first. Okay, for the ollie is the foundation. Then we have like the foundation on your house. It's gonna unlock everything. After you learn the ollie and feel comfortable with the ollie, it's gonna unlock so many other tricks for you, especially tricks that don't leave your feet, especially tricks where the board doesn't leave your feet. Now remember, there is no hack to skateboarding. There's no such thing as a hack. That's clickbaity crap. You can't hack it, you gotta practice it. So you can't watch a video and you just know how to do it. Now, for foot placement, you can be anywhere. What you wanna do with your back foot is you just wanna keep it kinda in the center of the tail to get that good straight down pop. For the front foot, you can kinda put it anywhere. The farther you put it back, the more probably elevation you're gonna get. When you're starting, I just start like right behind the bolts and worry about the pop. Worry about the slide. I'm gonna show you one here in a second. So yeah, you wanna basically pop the board down. I'm gonna take off my other shoe. And as you put pressure straight down here, your foot's gonna slide up. And when that pops, you wanna try to bring your foot all the way up to the nose. And what's gonna happen is that's gonna pop, your front foot's gonna go up, you're gonna ollie. And then you ollied, and then it's just gonna come back down. So I'll do one real quick, and then we'll do a few ollies. Simple ollie. I would recommend, as scary as it is, to not do these stationary. It's actually, in my opinion, easier to do them rolling because that forward momentum can really help you. So let's get a couple rolling ollies. When you start doing these ollies, you don't have to go that fast. Just a little bit of speed, make you feel comfortable. But focus on that pop and slide. That was not a good ollie, but I still did an ollie. You slide the foot up. Simple, ollie. Not so simple when you're learning it, I know. But get out there and just practice them. And you know, I'm not too good at these trick tip things. I just really want to help you guys any way I can. the biggest part of this trick tip thing will probably be like communication after the point. I want you guys to comment on what you're struggling with so I can help. That's the whole point of this. But these will be, you know, footage to look back on. So I'm just gonna go get a few more ollies and then we'll get to the next one. So as you can see, ollies can be pretty fun. And you know what? I don't do a lot of just straight up ollies. It's something I need to work on. That's why I'm already having fun with this series so far, and we're on the first trick. Because yeah, I don't claim to be a solid ollier or anything like that, but you can, once you unlock the ollie, go up curves, go off little curb cuts, it's just a ton of fun. Always remember, try to bend your knees when you're landing. That definitely helps. If you land stiff-legged, it could hurt a little bit. So yeah, let's get on to the next trick. Because once you got that ollie down, you can start rotating because it's not that hard. The hardest part about getting these 180s is riding away in the switch stance. And this is also part of it. It's going to get you comfortable riding backwards or switch, however you want to call it. So for the frontside 180, it is very similar to the ollie, except you want to turn your shoulders as you're popping. And I'll get into that in a second. Foot position is about the same. I'll show you how I do them. And you can mess around with this, obviously. Everybody's does it a little bit different. So let's get to the foot position. Okay, so for frontside 180s, just simple ones on flat ground. The foot position I like to use is basically the same as an ollie. I might come back just behind the bolts there, but I hang a lot more of my toes off. And I also put my back foot kind of in the rear pocket there, but still like my toes over the center. And what'll happen is when you go to rotate, you have a little bit of that pocket in there to just try to keep it around. So I'll show you one right here. And frontside 180s are also another trick that I'm not the most comfortable with. I tend to prefer backside 180s lately, but let's get a couple frontside 180s. The biggest point of this is just like the ollie, but you're kind of winding your shoulders up. So you're going like you're gonna ollie, but you're kind of getting a wind in as you pop. Like when you pop, you kind of want your shoulders open because then your hips are just going to follow where your shoulders are. So when you pop, you turn and you spin. It kind of just works, honestly. You just got to trust it and trust yourself. So pop, spin. Also another one I highly recommend doing while you're moving. I was saying, I'm not the best at frontside 180s, but they're still fun. I'm still gonna work on them, and I can do them. One thing you might figure out is for me personally, switch frontside 180s just feel a lot better, just because I don't know, they feel torqueier and stuff. But let's get into the backside 180s and get into the foot placement of these guys. Okay, so for backside 180s, it's kind of the opposite of frontside 180s, believe it or not, because they are the opposite. I like to do it, especially just on flat ground, and you can play around with this trick a little bit, is I keep more of my heel off the board, and I put my foot kind of in this back pocket, and do it kind of like a scoop. Like, this is, for flat ground, you evolve from here, but you kind of do it like a scoop, and it's the same thing with the shoulders, as I'll show you. And this is a trick I don't even think I can do unless I'm moving. Moving is very key. You're kind of doing yourself a disservice if you're learning these tricks without moving. I know it's scary, but take your baby steps, go slow, and practice is everything. Practice is everything. So I'm gonna show you two different kind of backside 180s here. So that's a full rotation one. Next one's kind of fun because you can slide it, and you can do this with frontside 180s too. I'm just not comfortable front side, so let's get a little slidey guy. Which one was more stylish? The slidey one actually feels a little bit more, I hate this word, steezy. can call me Steezy Steve if you want. But it's essentially the same as the frontside 180. People are going to be more comfortable turning one way or the other. A lot of stuff, I'm more comfortable just turning backside. But it's the same kind of thing. Having that toe hanging off in the back and having your feet just below those front bolts, subjective here is my position. And it's, you know, you're kind of looking forward like this. And as you ollie, basically you're this way when your tail pops. And I'm going to try to do one stationary, but it's not going to look very good. But it's that twist as you're ollieing, because you got that ollie down. Remember, guys? Twist, ollie, and you're going to do backside 180. Foot position is important, so keep attention to that. Yeah, I can't do it unless I'm moving. So let's get some more slow-mo ones, and then what's the next trick? Oh, we're doing half cabs. This is one you guys are going to have to help me on if you know how to do it. Remember, guys, I'm not pro, not even close, never was. I'm just a middle-aged guy in a parking lot with a family. Probably like most of you. Or if you're a little kid, don't expect too much out of yourself. These are perfectly good, fine, flat ground tricks in a parking lot when you're middle-aged, in the middle of the day, by yourself. That's fine though. So now, here we'll go to a trick that you guys can probably help me with, because I can't seem to figure these out. They're very odd to me. But I'm going to throw a couple, and that is a half cab. I tend to always land manual or I got a pivot, so I'm going to try to get a decent one. As far as foot position goes, for me, I basically use the same foot position as a backside 180. So you'll see that. So if you want to see foot position, just go back to the backside 180 part, and I'm basically doing that same thing. Sometimes fakie, I tend to put my foot up a little bit higher on the board, my front foot, but not all the time. So let's see if I can get a decent one. So I'll take that one. Those are about as good as they get. Now that the reason I went to these tricks next is because once you get your ollies down, you get your 180s, you're used to riding away fakie. It'd be cool to do a trick after that when you're riding switch, right? So the easiest one, because you're in the same ollie position, we'll say, you're still using your dominant feet to pop, are the other 180s. Half cab, frontside half cab, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it kind of gets you used to riding a little bit switch because you're 180ing, and then you can start these fakie 180s. And the reason why they're before the fakie ollie is because you're going back to your regular stance. And you're using some of the same fundamentals that you used on the regular 180s, front side and back side. So that's kind of my logic behind it, is that it's kind of positioning you for the next ones. So yeah, if you guys have any tips on half cabs, leave them in the comments, because I need them. It's a trick I haven't paid a lot of attention to, and that's why I'm kind of doing this series. So on that note, we're going to get into the fakie frontside half cab. And once again, I use the same foot position as frontside 180s. And these are a little more awkward because you're spinning blindside, just like the backside 180s. But you'll get into your regular position. So I'm going to do one of those. This is just a list for you guys to work off of. And it's good practice for me. They're terrible. They're terrible. Yeah, those could definitely use some work too. I'm definitely more comfortable doing those nollie. That's for sure. And so that brings us to the last basic set of tricks in this volume 1. And that is the fakie ollie. And what you want to do for this, since now you're even more comfortable riding fakie, because you practice those 180s, it may seem like the fakie ollie would be easier, but it's actually not, because you're popping, ollieing, and landing back to switch. So it can jar off your balance a little bit. So yeah, that's skateboarding made simpler. Volume 1, episode 1. And yes, I know I kind of skipped over the fakie 180s because you're going to use a lot of the technique from the regular and backside. I can't stress that enough. You're just riding fakie, and that is going to be the awkward part. But on that note, the next video, the board's going to be leaving your feet a little bit, but not really in a scary way. And you'll understand that when you watch it. I hope so. But yeah, hopefully if you guys learned anything from this, that would be great. That's my whole goal here. And to get conversations started, to get learning, to get comfortable, and to ask for help if you need it. We all have strengths and weaknesses in skateboarding, and I know what mine are. There's only one way to find out yours. So yeah, I will see you guys on the next one.